Let me try and do my best impression of myself watching Pieces of a Woman. So the first 20 minutes is the birth scene at home. The entire 25 minutes of the beginning of this film was this the whole time.
No.
No.
No! No!
No.
No, no, no.
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 Oh, do I want to be a dad?
No!
Oh, man, do I want kids?
No.
And I'm not even the one gonna have to give the birth. Yeah. Ooh, this movie. Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach, and if you're new to this channel or just joining me for the first time, welcome. If you love movies as much as I do and love learning from them as much as I do, you are in the right place. So if you like this video, click like down below and subscribe, and I'll be coming out with a lot more films this year, both the ones that I love, ones that I maybe not so much, and ones that I am getting to see for the first time. As well, I'm going to try and do a few more top 10 lists this year, so please stick around for some of those. Today we are reviewing the 2020 film Pieces of a Woman. This movie was directed by Kornél Mundruczó, I think I'm saying his name right, was written by Kata Weber. I hope I'm saying their names right, and I apologize if I'm not. This movie stars Vanessa Kirby in the title role, along with Shia LaBeouf, Ellen Burstyn, Benny Safdie from the Safdie brothers. This is a movie about a woman and a husband who are expecting a child, a young girl, and they are doing a home birth instead of in the hospital, and it goes wrong, and the baby doesn't make it. And this movie is the aftermath of that fallout, of her dealing with this terrible grief that she has on her shoulders and the guilt that she feels. Her isolation really destroys her relationship with her husband, as well as her family and mother and sister and people who are trying to reach out to help her in any way possible. Part of the film is a little bit about the court case around the midwife that delivered her baby and if she is guilty or not. I'm not gonna go out and watch this film again. I have to say that first things first. It's really an experience movie. And that's where I love this movie and I don't like it. This is not a movie that you're gonna want repeated watches of. And I think this movie knows that, and that's okay. But I just wanted to preface out there that this is a very hard movie to check out, especially for people who are becoming parents, who are parents, or just want to have kids at some point. This is a very big possibility. This is a terrible situation, and it's kind of like a person's nightmare in a lot of ways. So this film is a hard pill to swallow. You're so stuck to the screen because you know what's gonna happen and you want hope and happiness to come, and it's just not there. It's not that kind of movie. The actors in this movie are incredible, especially our lead, Vanessa Kirby. She should be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, maybe even win. And now I know there's a lot of speculation with Frances McDormand in Nomadland and that she's gonna win, but she already has like 2 Oscars. If they're not gonna give it to her, it should be either Carey Mulligan from Promising Young Woman or Vanessa Kirby from this movie, Pieces of a Woman. She plays this broken character so well. At first, this excited and youthful, energetic mother, and then when the tragedy happens in the rest of the film, she's this shattered person who doesn't know what mistakes that she's making and the things that she is trying to figure out how to get over this, if she can even get over this, if this is something that's even possible to get over. And it brings up a lot of interesting questions about relationships and how a tragedy can destroy relationships that are closest to us, but also at the same time bring us together in the ones that matter the most. And I love that this movie shows those parallels, like the husband in there, and that relationship begins to really crumble, where then her relationship with her sister and her mother actually by the end of the film is a lot better, and there's a big improvement, and there's a nice arc there that family is so important, even if sometimes in other ways. But Vanessa Kirby plays this character so well. I know I've seen her from like Mission Impossible, Hobbs and Shaw, done a couple of films, but I never really saw her as a fantastic actress until this film. And this is definitely her coming out as a great performer, as a great actress, as an A-lister. So I think this is going to be the movie that she won't win the Oscar for necessarily, but it's going to get her notice and it will allow her to really take off with her acting career. Not just doing action movies, but really being able to play some really deep and dramatic parts. She plays this sensibility, this you understand her and you get her grievance, yet you at the same time, as you're cheering for her, you're also kind of disappointed in what she's doing and the choices that she's making, but you can understand where this character is coming from, and that's what this movie does so well. Shia LaBeouf is really great in his role. Probably the other standout performance is Ellen Burstyn as the mother. She cares for her daughter so much and just wants her to be happy and just doesn't quite know how to actually help her in the end get over this awful tragedy. This is a movie that it really relies on the performances than it really does for anything else. This movie is beautifully shot, it's well crafted, and for a story that's just about a mother trying to get over this horrible tragedy, it is a well done movie. Though I have to say, this movie does move at a pretty slow pace. At times I felt like it lagged a little bit. There should have been some sharper editing. Again, in this movie, just to tighten it up, 2 hours and 6 minutes for this film, this kind of movie, I felt like was pretty dragged out. I get it that they're trying to build character, but just like Manchester by the Sea, I felt very similarly coming out of this film. So sad and depressed the whole time, and there is a little bit of hope and happiness at the end of the tunnel, but by the time you get there, you're like, oh my gosh, they're so drained. They're hitting over that 2 hour mark. Really have a hard time just solidifying the audience down in its chair. Sometimes they pull it off and sometimes they don't. Just had about 10-15 minutes of this movie that they really could have edited out. There's a lot of lingering shots. I think there's probably 2-3 minutes alone of just pure silence, of just pictures of trees and images of the grass, and that's really important when you're trying to tell a visual story. You have to figure out, what do you want in your frame, for how long, and why is that so important? And I felt like some of the shots that they linger on, they just didn't really add that much to the story or the characters and how they felt in the moment. Sometimes it did, and sometimes it really didn't. Now, the actors are wonderful. The script is pretty well crafted. The way that they told the story was good, but it wasn't exceptional. It is very reliant on the performances, which makes sense because it is a very human film. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the greatest story and it pulls me in for the whole time. This is not my cup of tea. This is not my movie smoothie, because I go to movies to learn and escape and fantasize and see different worlds and go to different places and things that I could never do in real life. And it is so real at times. There's a lot of silence in this movie and a lot of slow moving scenes that it doesn't really dramatize things too much. It's really pure trying to be real, authentic human emotion. And sometimes on screen when they do that, it's not the most exciting to watch. But putting that stuff aside, it is a well-crafted film. It is a awesome, brilliantly acted film, especially by Vanessa Kirby. She better be recognized for her work here. I feel like they did a really great job of us empathizing with these characters, understanding them, and getting to see their plight and really step into their shoes. Good filmmakers do that. I felt the story was lacking a little bit at times, and yes, the editing needed to really be a little bit spliced up better. Maybe a little bit more fluid storytelling so it didn't feel so dragged out at times. But overall, this is still a really great, in-depth, heartbreaking film that is centered at it, a very humanistic mother-father paternal feel to this film. And it's really tragic in some ways, and it's very beautiful in some ways. So overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give Pieces of a Woman a B. I probably won't ever watch this movie again, but it still doesn't mean it's not a good movie. It does deserve its recognition, and it does deserve a viewing. Just be cautious that some of the things that happens in this movie can be pretty hard to handle at times. What did you guys think of this movie? Is it the masterpiece that people are making out to be, or is it maybe not quite up to snuff to what you want in a film? Let me know with your comments down below. Click like down below and subscribe. That would be beautiful. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year, and if I can get that goal, oh yes. Soon I'll be releasing also my top 20 most anticipated films of 2021. I just released my top 10 best films of 2020. And that will be right over here at the end of this video. Check out some more Mr. Teach Film Preach. Have a great day, and we will talk to you all soon. And as always, let's get taught.